Thank you.
Thank you.
Check, check, check. Hello. How you guys doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going to have a fantabulous, if that's a word, evening tonight. So, welcome again to the 13th annual GMAAN Black History Month celebration. The theme is reinvention. But you see, I like to bring words to life because words, there's so much depth to words if you're willing to explore them. Reinvention is a powerful word. I'll tell you what reinvention is not. Reinvention is not safe. Reinvention isn't comfortable. Reinvention takes guts. Real guts. And all the greatest companies and leaders and business people that I can think of went through continuous forms of reinvention. For instance, we're in a Marriott right now. Marriott started as a hot dog stand selling root beer floats. Did you guys know that? Really? They were the first to supply food for airline carriers. And they would eventually continually reinvent themselves into what they are today. When I think of Cadillac, who's our sponsor this evening, Cadillac to me means so much because growing up, Cadillac has always been that aspirational brand. Fun fact, I learned this from one of the multicultural executives in the marketing team. Cadillac is the car that has most been used in hip hop music. Shout out, right? But that meant a lot to me. See, this Black History Month celebration, we are the largest exporters of cultural value, music, style, food, you name it. And I personally have a special affinity for any brand that has put their money where their mouths are at when it comes to uplifting this community that means so much to us. Well, thank you. And when I think of Black History Month, you know, speaking of hip hop, there's a lyric that says, make Black History a day, I don't need a month. Right? Like the word Black, like the term Black History Month implies we are acknowledging and paying homage to the greats that came before us, but at the same time, it's also about passing the baton. It's about passing the baton to the new leaders who are going to trailblaze the paths of tomorrow. And so this is beautiful push and pull. And it's so poetic to me because it's not only this push and pull that's relative and relevant to our culture, but also to an evening like tonight that pays homage to the brands that have been there with the community from the ground floor up. Now, I run a fund called Harlem Capital. It's a $25 million venture firm, and we invest specifically in women and minorities. And thank you. And it's funny because when I say it's a diversity-focused fund, folks will say, "Oh, that's so good." But for me, it's a business case. 4% of all venture dollars flow to women and minorities, yet we make up 70% of the population. We're going to determine the public companies of tomorrow. We are the largest segment of the working population that through our sheer spending power, we determine what pops. We determine what's hot and what's not. And another thing that I do that I think really speaks to reinvention is I host a show for VICELAND. It premieres on Sunday, 9 p.m. But that show is co-produced by Cadillac. And that to me was really interesting because that is a fresh perspective on new media, how to reach people in a 2019 environment. Remember what I said earlier, reinvention, what it's not, is safe. Reinvention isn't safe, it isn't comfortable. When you go through it, you have to face uncertainty. And when you're a company operating at scale, like GM and like Cadillac, I'll tell you, it's really, you have to resist the temptation to do what's always been done before. You have to lean into what you feel is coming next. And I'll tell you what, it takes guts. It takes guts when you're making big decisions and you're deploying millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in a direction that you're not sure is gonna pan out. So I really wanna thank Cadillac personally, because you guys put your money where your mouth is at. And a lot of people can talk diversity and inclusion, but it's a whole nother game to tap into those guts, deploy the capital, enable, empower, and mobilize. So thank you, Cadillac. Okay, so I got a little fired up right there. So we're gonna have a great evening. It's an evening of fantabulous programming. We're gonna have some live music. We're gonna have a performance from Randy, and also these galas. You guys know the deal. You know, we're all feeling important and snazzed up, but let's set an intention of community. Let's set an intention of saying hello to your neighbor. If you see someone when you're getting some food, stop what you're doing, say hello, greet them, make the time, listen. You guys ever been to those networking events where it's like a drive-by of like, oh yeah, and you give them your business card and then you're on to the next and the next and the next, and we're all kind of here looking to meet someone that we all came with a strategic, intention, but let's leave that at the door, please. That would mean so much to me personally. If we can set an intention of community and communion and make this an excellent evening. Does that sound good to you guys?